Yo, welcome to another episode of Under the Surface, a talk show where we talk all things Bazaar. With the new season, a lot of new changes were introduced into the game, and the patch notes were similar to a small novella. Therefore, we picked a couple of things that impressed us the most or were the most significant in our opinion. And that is what we will focus on today. So without further ado, let's dive under the surface. We have a new season, and with a new season, we have a lot of new changes. And to be fair, I personally was under the impression that right now we are in the situation where the big changes like the sweeping reworks are like thing of the past, and right now we are just going to, or well, not we, but like the tempo is going to just build on top of the things that already are in the game. But as it turns out, it's not the case, and like half of the game has been changed. Perhaps first question for you, how do you feel about essentially experiencing a totally different game for the past week?
That's just what you've come to expect with the Bazaar experience. I mean, like, this is like in any other game, this would be like ridiculously major changes, and it is pretty major, but like it still is kind of toned down from what we were seeing prior to like the actual release of the game. But they still added like a ridiculous number of new merchants, completely reworked sort of region and healing.
Mm-hmm.
You basically gave Pig a whole new archetype.
I mean,
So.
they gave him new archetype. Like, I think the other archetypes have been pushed to the side, you know? Imagine that they, for a while, wanted to go away from doing patch notes. Imagine this without any patch notes. Like, this would be horrible. Like, how would you play? Like, the almost half of the items, I'm not sure, I'm just throwing a number right here, but like a lot of items have been changed. They work completely differently, and then we had two hotfixes which then changed those items again. So how are you supposed to keep up with this?
Thank God for how Bazaar.
Oh yeah,
I'm at the point too where like I read the patch notes, and then when I got to the items list, I was like, yeah, that's way too long. I'm just gonna play the game. And so I just started playing, and kind of, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even reading all the text because I just felt like I knew.
Yeah, I was the same. Like, I was just going through the game all happy and just doing my business, and then I hovered over Clamera, and oh wow, it's completely different. Oh, I didn't even realize. Thank goodness it still triggers on the start of the fight.
Yeah, I like just added it to my board without even reading it, because I was like, yeah, it's Clamera. Like, you obviously picked that up. And then when I got into the next fight, it only slowed once, and I was freaking out. I couldn't believe what happened. I thought like it was a glitch or something, because I thought they would never change Clamera. But yeah, it's essentially the same. I mean, still triggers on start a fight, and triggering on start a fight is like super OP now, because every skill ever, once you just like when your first item's used, it triggers. So instead of just automatically triggering.
I was mostly taken aback by the fact that it had like lower cooldown than 9 seconds. That was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, it's cooldown something. It's only 4 seconds at diamond now.
Yeah,
which is wild. Yeah, and I had the diamond one too, so I was shocked.
it's wild in my opinion. Okay, you mentioned the regeneration pig right now, and I think regeneration pig is right now running the show. On later days, I think every second fight is like lemonade stand or like hogwash or something along those lines.
It's bad enough. I kind of want them to hotfix the game again to make him worse, because he's like, I don't know, it's pretty hard to beat him if there anything else.
Yeah, I had a run like yesterday where I was running eels, and I had them like I had a pretty cool combo. So essentially, like they looped sort of, but my opponent still needed to use their items. They were just aquatic caltrops, just put it that way. But I faced a lemonade stand pig, and getting like 1500 regeneration every activation was too much for my eels, my trusty eels.
Seems fair. Seems like a fair fight.
I'm sure that the person running that lemonade stand build had tons of fun because I know I would. But what build is supposed to beat that? Well, maybe shrinking potion, but like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I when I saw the change to lemonade stand, because I think they nerfed it too, didn't they? In one
Yeah,
of the hot fixes.
yeah. I think they increased the cooldown. The
But
cooldown is 12, 11, 10 right now.
it still gives you 5% of your max health and regen every time it goes off.
Ah,
Like that's a lot. That's a lot of regen. I don't.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's really like spawn shop.
Or maybe belt.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it's called.
yeah, belt. It gives you flashback to your childhood when your father, just took the belt. But
Now it's Pig's turn.
oh, spank me, daddy.
Oh god.
I had to. Sorry. Another point to regeneration being so strong is that it triggers as heal, and heal has been buffed as well because it no longer cures only 1 point of burn and poison on heal activation or whatever, like on heal instance. It now clears 10% of your burn and poison. So for example, the street gamer skill that heals 10 every small item whenever a small item goes off is like hard counter to any burn and poison builds.
Yeah, and but the way it worked before was complete garbage, where like you lose like one tick or whatever. It was just stupid. It just didn't do anything. I don't know. This way's definitely better, but I kind of wish it was more like a percentage of how much you healed or something.
Yeah, they overcorrected probably.
Yeah, well, and Pig's strong, so now he's just even stronger.
Oh
You
yeah.
can't even like poison him down or anything. It's just he just heals it immediately.
Yeah, people on Reddit suggested that like it should be scalable in a sense that you heal for a certain amount and it cures a part of your burn or poison, and it cannot reduce your burn or poison for more than 10%, but it has to be adequately big. Like the heal has to be adequately big to heal for to reduce that poison and burn for that much. There's probably a better way to explain it, but I'm not going to attempt to do it another time. So I think you know what I mean. There was a post on Reddit.
Yeah, it's like that's how you would think it would work, right? Like that's just how your brain would expect it to work. I don't know. Maybe there's an issue when they try to implement it that way. It just doesn't work how you think it would, or maybe it's just way too hard with the code.
I guess
maybe they just don't like it.
I don't know. Maybe there's another idea where they do not want to overcomplicate the mechanic because the computer can make the calculations, but people would probably be sort of unaware why sometimes the burn or poison gets healed for more and sometimes it gets healed for less. A flat value is probably easier to understand, but 10% is probably too much. Perhaps they should dial it back to 5% and see how that works.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it in a meta where heal pig isn't just disgusting, because then I might feel less bad about it. Because man, it feels horrible when you're running I've ran like this really strong poison build that I just thought was amazing, and then it's just like, oh, heal pig just like has 0 poison, even though I'm poisoning him for like 5 million every 2 seconds. So
yeah.
It's hard to tell what needs to be changed when somebody's that oppressive, I guess, in the meta.
Yeah, a couple of things came together and, Pig has been crowned the champion, essentially. But moving on, I think the other huge thing that was introduced in this season was the change to rank points distribution. How do you like the new changes?
I gotta say, I was kind of worried they would never, right now it seemed kind of hell-bent on the way he had done it. I was worried they would never change it. This is so much better. Well, I don't know, it just felt like you couldn't make progress in the last one. Even if you were having some pretty good games, it's like, oh, I got 9 wins and I got 1 little gem. Oh, I feel so good about it right now. I spent 45 minutes of my life doing this. But now it's like I think that I think like 7 or 6 on bronze, 6 wins or whatever on bronze is like 3 or 2 or something. So you really feel like you make progress. Like I'm not still bronze 5 right now. I don't know what I am, but I would not be above that. And it peters off. So like once you get to diamond, it's back to how it used to be. So you actually have to be like better at the better tiers, right?
Yeah, like with each rank, it gets a bit harder to earn points. However, the distribution isn't as top heavy, so while being at lower ranks, it's easier to rank up. And if you are like a really good player, like god tier crip level, and you can churn out those 7 and 10 win runs, you will easily breeze through like bronze, silver, and gold, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not me, couldn't be me, but the idea is sound.
I think too, it's like if you're as good as Crip and like, maybe nobody with a day job is as good as Crip, but like if you have to work and like take care of kids and stuff, but you're like really good at the game, you shouldn't have to play like 5 trillion games to be legend, I feel like. And this kind of fixes that issue, right? You still have to play a decent amount, but it's not like, you need to get 10 or 7 wins every single game to make any progress. So
yeah, I don't remember how many wins were needed to get to legend. Like last time we calculated that, it was somewhere between 80 and 100, I think. I'm pretty confident that this change brought that value down. I'm not sure how much it brought it down, but I guess you could probably in like 50 to 60 games get to legend.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pretty decent too, you get those 10 wins. That's 3 points all the way up through gold. So it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks Tempo for making good changes.
So another good change would be Resurrection event update, sort of. This is Shadow Government Classic, high 5. The leftmost option, which was choose the diamond item, is now upgrade your bronze tier and silver tier items to gold. So it's not exactly what I have proposed in a resurrection event video, but it's pretty close. I talked about upgrading every item on your board 1 tier up, and I think this is more like normalized.
Yeah. Have you used this new option?
Well, not yet. Not yet, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure there would be a use case for this.
Yeah, I've used it because you have those runs where it's like you just don't need like, I don't know, like an enchantment's not going to change your life, but you have a bunch of items you couldn't get leveled up or up to the next tier. When you get them, like your board's just at the next level. And you're going to get enchantment at level 10, right? Maybe you've already got what you wanted, or you're about to get what you want potentially. So
yeah, and also a lot of items now scale their cooldowns. Well, maybe not a lot, but definitely a decent chunk of them scale their cooldowns. So getting like -1 or -2 seconds on a couple of your items can accelerate you noticeably.
Yeah.
Quick little update for you guys, but I would like to ask you, how do you like new mountain pass?
I love it. I've used it. Like I just still pick it every time. I've never gotten the negative option.
Did you?
I think I haven't. Yeah. So I've gotten fights in like 10 gold most of the times I've done it.
Okay. I think
feels
the
good.
very first time I clicked on a new mountain pass was -5% health.
Yikes.
I mean, it's now removed, so you cannot get it anymore because it was a really feel bad moment. And I'm not really sure I like the idea of the mountain pass working as it is right now, because previously you really couldn't get any negative outcomes. Like if you opted for a fight and you got like a lich, well, you were sort of asking for a fight, right? So if you got a hard fight, well, tough luck, boy. But right now, you just click on that option and there's some lottery behind the curtain. And, well, this time you rolled 10 gold. But next time you're going to get like 2 poison at the start of every fight, which is also much worse than getting 2 burn at the start of the fight, because 2 burn is literally 3 damage, but 2 poison, like over 30 seconds of the fight, is 60 damage. I think
Not to mention if you're playing a poison opponent.
yeah, but but those 2 poison, like it's always going to do like 60 damage, but there's a slight difference between 3 and 60 in my opinion.
You gotta kill your opponent in 5 seconds.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I preferred the previous version of Mountain Pass. Though I must admit the only 2 options that were ever considered were 2 gold and 1 XP and fight.
Yeah. I don't mind the way they're doing it now. Yeah, maybe not having negative options would be better. It's like you get something random, but can't just like actually take, get like a skill that makes you take damage, basically. I mean, like, wouldn't it just be better just you got nothing? Like, that's pretty bad enough.
Yeah, just 1 XP or something, or just 1 gold, whatever. Something that's like you got something, so you're not getting this negative outcome. Like, you're not set behind, but you're not really set ahead. I think it wouldn't be as feel bad, as it is right now. But we have to be mindful of the like fringe case of you're playing Mark with self-poison build, and you want this self-poison at the start of the fight because it can grant you like a couple of item activations. How often is that going to happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep clicking it. I'm gonna keep clicking it until I get something bad, and then I'll probably never click it again.
Okay, so about clicking things that you're not ever going to click again. What about Boria?
Yeah, the guy's a little bit strong now, isn't he?
I think he is the gatekeeper of the level 3 on day 2 right now. In the closed beta, right? The Boria was one of the strongest early game opponents, right? He just ran away with the game. It was really hard to beat him. Then they sort of nerfed him, and nobody really cared. Nobody really fought him, I think. And I guess Tempo wanted to bring him back to his old glory. And I fought him once, was beaten harshly, my ass was handed back to me on a silver platter, and now I'm just no thanks.
I heard he was really hard, so I didn't even bother to click him, and because everybody was complaining, and I saw that sheet you were talking about earlier where they show like what if you can beat him or not, basically, and the answer is almost always no. But I had this really strong burn build, and I'm like, this is good. Like, I'm going to fight him, and I actually beat him. And then the next time I came up to him, I had a pretty strong, like, weapons build, and I'm like, yeah, I can take him. Dude just annihilated me. You have to have, like, that, like, at least, like, for Vanessa, you have to have, like, her, like, perfect starting day stuff happening, or it's just impossible.
Yeah, people on Reddit made whole calculations and tables on how much damage per second you have to outpace Boria, and if I remember correctly, it was like if you can get him to 0 before 12 seconds, you should be all right, but after 12 seconds, he's almost unbeatable.
I mean, that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. I guess they just don't want people getting that extra XP, because that was basically all you did was get furry creature with a toy or a friend, and then fight the highest tier enemy, and then get the extra XP. So I kind of appreciate that, but I wish it was less reliant on beating like the hardest. I mean, probably the hardest fight in the game right now in terms of like what day you're at.
I mean, Lich is still there. But like...
Oh, true. I beat Lich though one time too.
Oh my.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good. I think that was the same run I beat Boria.
You must be the best, the Bazaar player ever. Like there's no in between.
Thank you. But yeah, Lich is still crazy. I always go into the Lich fight thinking like, oh, I can beat the Lich, and then it's like all your items are frozen and slowed, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this part.
Totally unrelated to Boria and all the previous stuff that we mentioned. I really like the fact that virus is now virusing, and it's virus in time. And also the effect of the virus is really intriguing because the virus poisons yourself. So essentially you want only one virus on your board and no other small items to transform into virus. And then you want to infect small items on your opponent's board so they can poison themselves faster than you can poison, yourself. And also like regenerative on viruses pretty cool because regenerative virus heals your opponent. But I'm not 100% sure
What?
if you have regenerative virus, if you transform your opponent's small item, does it keep the enchantment like regenerative? But if it does, it means that they heal you and poison themselves, you know?
Yeah. Have you played any virus builds or messed around with it at all?
Not yet, but I'm yearning for it.
Yeah, I was kind of interested in it, but I've been playing mostly Vanessa, a little bit of Pig, so I haven't moved into it yet. But it's very different from everything else in the game, which is good.
It's a completely new build that, I don't know, like it's another sort of unicorn type stuff that's in the Bazaar, that, how to say it? Like if you can sort of complete that Exodius type stuff on your board with the virus in the very center, I think it can be very silly.
Virus is fairly easy to get as any hero too, because you can get it from the can't remember the name of the enemy, but like the
A hexa, I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
oh yeah. And so I've seen a couple of other people have it on their board. They weren't really doing anything with it, but like I could imagine like a Vanessa build with poison. You know what I mean? Where you want to turn all your opponent's items into it and just do more poison.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I think all the changes that were introduced are pretty cool. I mean, the only thing that I wouldn't call pretty cool is that this season is shorter than the previous one, like a whole week shorter. But besides that, every time I think they couldn't cook something tastier, they do, you know?
It's impressive. This game is gonna blow a lot of certain body parts off of people as time goes on. So sorry, Thumper.
Yeah. Look how they massacred my boy. I guess that would be it from us for today. Tell us how you feel about new rank points distribution. Tell me, is Mountain Pass yay or nay? And, you know, if you want to share some of your experiences in the new season, like there's a couple of things that we didn't even mention but were introduced, like new sort of form copies for other items. So yeah, there's a lot of new cool content in the game. So tell us how you like it. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
As I said, leave a comment, but you also should probably like and subscribe, unless you already have. Then thumbs up. And yeah, we'll see you on Thursday on Blake's channel. And I guess that's it. Bye.
See ya.